Meg. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. So today I am in my kitchen and I'm really excited to share this recipe with you guys because it's definitely a staple in mine and my daughter and my husband's diet, and they're really delicious, and I love making these muffins because you can add whatever you want to them. I'm going to show you the basic version that I make quite frequently, and then obviously you can add whatever you want into these muffins. So let me tell you a little bit about how I came across the recipe and kind of my rendition on it. So I don't want to take full credit for this recipe because I first kind of heard about a vegan muffin. I've tried a ton over the past, I'd say, year and a half, and this is by far my favorite. So I found this recipe first by picking up this book, which I highly recommend if you are into vegan cooking or anything like that. And it's from the Skinny Bitch series, which I've talked about before. I absolutely love that book. But the Ultimate Everyday Cookbook, and it is by Kim, I think it's Barnon, I'm not really sure. I will link it down below if you guys are interested in it. This is a really gorgeous cookbook, and I have made a lot of recipes out of it. It's really nice. It's a great hardbound book. Just gives you tons of tips and tricks and really, really good recipes. And I like, you know, that there's pictures. It's just a really beautiful cookbook. So I would really recommend this to you guys if you're into vegan cooking. Now, I don't want to like scare you off because even though these are vegan, my husband eats them and he eats chicken and steak and everything like that. My daughter also eats meat and dairy, and they both love them. So this isn't just like only vegans can eat this. I don't really think that way. You know, that's just not realistic for my family. They both enjoy to eat dairy and meat, and that's totally fine, and I have no problem cooking like that, you know, a normal traditional American diet for them. But these are really great. My husband will take these to work. My daughter eats them for breakfast, and they're just really, really good. Originally, the recipe is from this cookbook, and it's the banana and cinnamon muffins, and there are some things that I changed. Now, I'm going to go through what she has in here, and then I will post my, obviously you'll see my rendition of it as the video progresses. But I just want to kind of tell you some of the things that I switched out for a little bit more of a healthy alternative, and I think that the muffins are still really good and very filling. The original muffin has 300 calories, and mine do have less than that in them. Like I said, I'll post all the exact information on my blog, which will be linked down below. Now, the main thing that I switched out was she uses 2 2/3 cup of unbleached all-purpose flour. I like to use oats and oat flour, which you'll see in the video. I just think there's more nutritional value to that. If you don't like oats or you can't eat them or anything like that, obviously just use whatever flour works for your diet. The other thing that I completely omitted was the 1/3 cup of Earth Balance. It's like a vegan substitute butter. I just found that I didn't need the extra calories, and I think they're really good without it, so I just totally omitted that. She uses evaporated cane sugar, and I use Truvia. That's like a huge calorie cut right there, and you know, it just depends what you like to eat. If you don't use sugar replacements, by all means, then use regular sugar. And then I also omitted the vanilla soy yogurt just because I didn't have it the first time I made it. So I substituted that with applesauce, and it works perfectly well. So those were the things that I kind of cut out and switched. Everything else is pretty true to the original recipe, and I cook mine at 350 instead of 325, but that just depends on your oven. Okay, so now I want to show you some of the ingredients. I hope you can see from this angle. In this container, what I have is just 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and then half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of salt. I will have all the exact measurements on my blog. This is already live on my blog. It's been up there for a while. So that's all of my like dry small ingredients. Then in this bowl, I just have 2 smashed ripe bananas. And then I have a half a cup of unsweetened all-natural applesauce, and I just buy them in these containers if I don't have a jug of it because my daughter likes to snack on these. So this is just 4 ounces of unsweetened applesauce. And in my measuring pitcher right here, I have 1.5 cups of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And to this, what I'm going to add is just 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. And this is going to kind of act as like a buttermilk, even though it is clearly no animal products in it. I just used the Bragg organic apple cider vinegar. I've had this for a while. It lasts a really long time, and there's a ton of different uses for that. To this wet mixture, I'm also going to add in my vanilla extract. Just going to kind of stir that around and let it get kind of a little bit thicker with that apple cider vinegar. And then I will also just add in my applesauce to my banana and kind of mix that around. And I'm going to let the wet ingredients sit for a minute while I get the rest of the dry ingredients together. Now I have all of my dry ingredients together. Now, I've tried this a couple different ways, and honestly, the ratios don't really make too much of a difference as long as you have this total amount of dry ingredients. It'll make sense once I explain it. So in here I have 1.5 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. Now, if you don't like a chunky kind of like rustic tasting muffin, you can cut that down to 1 cup of old-fashioned oats and substitute it for another flour of your choice. I really like using oat flour, so this is 1/2 cup of oat flour, 1.5 cups of rolled oats, and then 2/3 cup of coconut flour. If you enjoy baking with regular whole wheat flour or white flour, you can substitute all of that for just white flour, and you'll get a fluffier, you know, muffin. But I really like the nutritional properties in the rolled oats. It keeps me really full, and it's a really, really great nutritionally dense muffin. And you can easily make your own oat flour just by throwing regular oats into a food processor. All of this stuff is the Bob's Red Mill brand, and I find it at my local grocery store. This right here is a couple tablespoons of Truvia. It's a stevia-based sweetener. You can use a sweetener of your choice, and the nice thing about this all being vegan is that you can taste it as you go, and if you want it sweeter, you can just add a little bit more sugar. Or you don't have to add any at all if the bananas and applesauce are sweet enough for your liking. So like I said, this is the coconut flour. What I love about this is it's really finely like ground, and the oat flour is just a little bit coarser. So it's just up to your personal preference on how you know, the texture that you would want your muffin. Now what I'm gonna do is just mix my dry ingredients together. And I'm going to add in the rest of my dry ingredients. The cinnamon and the vanilla you can adjust to your taste. I like a lot of cinnamon, so we do a whole tablespoon of it. And it's already starting to smell really good with the cinnamon and the vanilla. I'm just gonna add in the almond milk and the apple cider vinegar. You guys can see it kind of changes the consistency of it, and that's fine. That's what you want the apple cider vinegar to do. How cute is the inside of this measuring cup? This is from Anthropologie. I'll link all this stuff below that I have, all the cookware. And then this is just my banana and applesauce mixture. You throw that in. Okay, so now we have everything in this giant Pyrex bowl. I really do like these because they're massive. And I'm just going to carefully kind of stir this all together. You can use a standing mixer. I have one of those too, but I just find it's easier to kind of mix it yourself. I don't know. You could do it in there. For some reason, to me, that seems like so much more work trying to like clean that thing than it does just using a bowl. So I just have this baking dish. It's for 6 muffins, which it will make 12 muffins. But I'm just going to use this little one and another one. This is from Anthropologie. It is oven safe, and I've just sprayed it with a little non-stick cooking spray. And I'm not going to use liners. I find that sometimes they'll stick in the liners and you have to spray it anyway. And just from cooking these a ton of times, I think it's easier just to spray your muffin tin, and then they just pop out really easily out of there. Okay, so now I'm just going to fill up my muffin containers. These muffin trays are a little bit smaller than my other one, so I'm just going to use a spoon. I normally use the big cookie scooper, like ice cream scoop. I'm just going to use a spoon today. Now I will say that this mixture comes out a different consistency for me every single time I make it. This seems not as liquidy as the last time I made it, but honestly, they don't really puff up too much, so this is gonna be fine. And as long as the mixture tastes okay, they come out tasting really good. Hey, no, 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 hey, no, no, no. No. different things you can add into these muffins. This is just the basic mix that I wanted to share with you first. I always usually add in little mini vegan chocolate chips. That's delicious in them. You could add in blueberries, which I've done before. I mean, cranberries, really anything that you know you want. I am going to top a couple of these with some walnuts. And you know, I don't add the walnuts for the ones that my daughter eats. I'll make this next tray for her. And I'll add just a couple chocolate chips and no walnuts because she doesn't like the nuts. So I'm just going to top them with the walnuts. Okay, so now I'm just using some of this Trivia brown sugar. And it has, for half a teaspoon, it is 5 calories. So it's significantly less than regular brown sugar. Really, you only need a sprinkling of this on top. And it's really good. It adds a little bit of a crunch and just a little bit of extra sweetness. So I just pulled the muffins out of the oven, so they're a little bit hot, hence the little oven mitt. But they did cook for about 20 minutes, and I just put a knife into it and it came out clean, so I knew that they were done. So I just want to share with you guys what they look like without completely burning my hand off. So this is what they ended up looking like. They seriously smell amazing, and obviously just looks like a muffin. But you guys, I really hope you try these. They're super delicious and really nutritious. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.